Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. And oh my god, is that a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's another garbage PC port in the big 2025. Let's go. Another major game is an awful PC version, and that is WUCHANG Fallen Feathers. And this one's a little bit disappointing. I mean, they're always disappointing, don't get me wrong. What am I saying? This one's a little bit disappointing. Oh, it was just as disappointing when Spider-Man 2 destroyed my PC. It was just as disappointing when Star Wars Jedi Survivor was dipping a 14 frames per second in an RTX 3080, but WUCHANG Fallen Feathers is a brand new IP that has quite a lot of momentum behind it, and it currently has over 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, so the game is doing fairly well, all things considered, but it is getting absolutely eviscerated over on Steam with 9,316 Steam user reviews, and right now, what's that percentage out of positive reviews? 22% positive reviews, so you are above the 20% threshold. I think if you're under 20%, that's when you're overwhelmingly negative. It might be under 10. Well, whatever. 22% of the reviews are positive. The game is getting clowned, and y'all already know why it is. It is not because the main character is easy on the eyes. It is not because of, X reason or Y reason. It is strictly because the PC version is terrible, and this is an Unreal Engine 5 game. And I gotta say, when looking at the game itself, when I was previewing the game and looking at a lot of the gameplay, I'm like, man, the game looks really good, and it's got a lot of areas and locales that I think, for the style of game, for the setting that it has, really, really cool. Then I saw that it's Unreal Engine 5, and I was like, oh, there might be a little bit of trouble in paradise when this game comes out, because, whenever a UE5 game comes out, it seems to be a little bit of a clown show. And let us go over some of the negative reviews as far as some insight on the reception. I have the game. I will play it at some point. I finally made it to First Berserker Kazan. That's one of those games that I skipped earlier this year, just because my plate was so full. But I'm playing through First Berserker right now. I'll probably take a break from Souls-likes for a while after that, and then I'll play WUCHANG, because I do want to play it, and hopefully by the time I get around to it personally, it'll be a lot better. But some of the reviews, no fun game so far, but extremely awful performance, forced FSR, TSR, that's terrible, forced FSR, really, and at 50% Ultra preset is a joke. UE5 games is a hit or miss when it comes to performance. In this case, it's a miss, unfortunately. At least for my system, the game needs a free demo for this exact reason. Boss fights are pretty decent, and at least this user notes, at least for my system, because the bandits are gonna come out being like, are you guys sure it's not just your PC? Are your system requirements up to date? Do you have the latest drivers? Because I'm getting 60 frames per second on my RTX 4070, and it's just like, those people are gonna be out in droves talking about, it doesn't deserve the negative reviews. I'm in the right here. It's not 80% of the people that are giving negative reviews. I'm in the right, and there are no performance issues. And I know, I gotta use the voice. I know some of you guys hate it, but every time I see that, and I saw it with Spider-Man 2, the bandits come out and they're like, it's not the game, it's your PC. Another user notes, another unstable UE5 title. Why are we not optimizing these games properly and promoting the use of frame gen and or other upscaling to fix the issue, then making it an accessible feature if needed? And we talked about this a lot, and a lot of people brought it up. When we saw system requirements shifting and games being promoted around running at a certain frame rate or requiring certain hardware, it's with the added clarification that this is with frame gen enabled, or this is with upscaling utilized. Frame gen and upscaling, those were introduced to make older hardware have more longevity, but what it has shifted into is now that this is being used as a crutch for mediocre PC releases. And when you take a bad PC port, utilizing a crutch to get playable performance, it makes a bad PC port even worse, and that is a horrible place to be at. And while it's not going to happen with every game, the fact is, now that it's becoming a standard, the utilization of upscaling and frame gen being baked into system requirements, or the expectation those are going to be utilized, that gives developers a crutch to make a bad PC port even worse. And again, that's a scary place to be at. Another user notes, wanted to give this game a good chance. I was excited for this. I had seen the mostly negative ratings and checked the concerns, and I can now say that as of this moment, they're correct. The game has some massive performance issues. I tried just playing because sometimes gameplay can more than make up for lacking in other areas. I was unfortunately not able to see much of the combat. I did fight the opening tutorial boss. I did fight through a few camps of enemies, and at one point during the boss fight, I was enjoying it and having fun. I was unable to experience more of that due to the overshadowing performance issues. First of all, always check minimum and recommended specs. Users running an RTX 3080, 32 gigs of RAM, and an i9 12900K. Brother, you don't even have to. You should not be in a position where you should even have to check performance requirements and things of that. A 3080, yes, it might be a couple generations old, but a 3080 should be able to serviceably run any game that comes out. At first, I tried running the game at my native 4K resolution, which you should be able to do with the 3080 for a game like this. With the recommended settings of medium enabled and DLSS on, honestly, I feel like you should get better out of a 3080 with a game like this, but nonetheless, that's what the user used, as it is in the recommended specs on the recommended settings. The game just did not look good at all. The DLSS was automatically set to such a low resolution percent that with it, it just looked extremely fuzzy. That's probably the worst thing about DLSS when it's not implemented properly. I played it with like that for a bit, and the latency was unplayable for a game like this. I had spent probably the first 30 to 45 minutes on just fiddling with the graphics setting, which, let me also add, the worst thing in the world. I don't buy a game to mess around with graphics settings for 30 to 45 minutes so it can run as at a playable rate. You should be able to detect my system, set the settings. It looks decent if I have a higher end rig, or it looks serviceable if I have a higher end rig, and it plays alright. Messing around with 30 to 45 minutes, whether it be crashes, whether it be stuttering. Oh, maybe if I turn this setting off, I'll get no more crashes, and then it works for a little while, and then you crash. Oh, maybe if I turn this setting this way, it'll stop the crashes. Okay, it works for 15. It's just like, bro, nobody's trying to deal with that. It's probably the number one thing I hate when it comes to PC gaming entirely, and bad PC ports. But nonetheless, I even had it set back down to 1080p with the 3080 with medium settings, and that's when I believe I found the issue, at least from what I experienced. It just seems that the longer you play, the higher the GPU usage gets. It's just not optimized right, and there seems to be a backlog or something going on that just eventually consumes your GPU resources. Lastly, and this just may be a me problem, but it just never ended up looking visually as good as the gameplay trailers, and yes, the gameplay trailers look fantastic. That user is RE-L, very in-depth review in regards to the performance. So a very, very unfortunate situation. Another user, I kind of feel like a fool. In the current gaming landscape, I should have known better than to buy a deluxe edition of a Souls-like that I hadn't even tried a demo of, but WUCHANG looks so good, I was sure it couldn't fail. I know I've barely clocked in any time, but WUCHANG's performance is abysmal. If I can play WUCHANG at max setting, there's no reason that this game should both look like this and play like this. Died a few times due to lag and bad frames. Gonna wait for some performance patches. I encourage you to do the same. The latest in a long line of horrendous PC ports by the looks of it. Still at a Yo, and it's crazy. I'm actually just on the page right now, and you have a performance trailer that's in the trailer section. You know how they have the screenshots in the trailers, and they're showing the game with our 4K DLSS 4, 220 frames per second. The game in the oh my god, that is just so misleading to be doing stuff like that in the Steam page itself. So somebody watches that video, they're like, okay, I have a decent PC, I'll be getting performance like that, and the game will be running that well. Nope, buddy, that ain't gonna be happening. We really need to normalize every game getting a demo these days, and, you know, these ports have just been getting so bad on PC. Just horrendous. It really just feels like, you know, obviously with varying levels of garbage, like a 50-50 shot about a major game release being a bad PC port. When you look at Spider-Man 2, WUCHANG, Monster Hunter Wilds, these are some of the biggest game releases of the year. At least Spider-Man 2 and Monster Hunter. WUCHANG is in that secondary threshold, but still a notable game release, and given right now we don't have a lot of big games coming out, I feel like people were looking forward to it. North of 100k concurrent players, but an absolute trash PC port. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Wait for a sale, wait for the game to get patched. It's available on Game Pass, you can play it that way. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.